My topic is on the Electoral College. My main claim is that the Electoral College suppresses voter participation. My three secondary claims is the Electoral College fails to be a full democratic system. Two, the Electoral College lowers the value of votes of certain states. And three, the Electoral College distorts presidential campaigns. So the Electoral College was created in the 1700s to create a fast and easy election process for presidents. The original purpose of having electors was to gather information from the voters in their states and thereafter cast a vote for the new president and vice president, according to the popular vote. This was done due to the lack of technology in the 1700s. But now, with the new technology, it is easier to count the popular votes. So with my first secondary claim that the Electoral College fails to be a full democratic system, first, electors aren't chosen by the people. Like, we don't even know them or know who they are. Our government is supposed to be a representative democracy, and this system does not apply that. They are selected by political parties, so we have no direct vote towards the electors. Also, these electors are not required to vote based on the popular vote. And this allows a candidate to win the electoral votes, but also lose the popular vote at the same time. This happened in the election of 2016, where Donald Trump won the electoral vote, but lost the popular vote. This leads us to think that our vote doesn't really matter. And electors electors also are allowed to cast a vote before the last citizen is allowed to cast their vote. We're allowed to vote from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. But according to Heavy.com, most of these electors casted their votes between the times of 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. The Electoral College, my secondary claim, is that the Electoral College lowers the value of votes of certain states. By this I mean that states become a certain political party state called a leaning state. A leaning state is one where a majority political party is known and the state is known to vote for that majority. Like, for example, according to 270towin.com, California is a state that is voted Democratic for the past 7 elections in a row. That means that we can predict that for the next election they're going to vote Democratic. And then this leads to saying that Republican voters are less likely to vote in a Democratic state like California, and vice versa. A Democratic would be less likely to vote in a Republican state. For California, in the 2016 presidential election, 61.7% voted Democrat and 31.6% voted Republican, and it was a very similar. The numbers were very similar for the past elections until 2000. Voter turnout is higher when the vote actually matters, such as in the swing state. According to electproject.org, in the 2016 election, California had a 58.4% turnout. Arkansas had a 53.1% turnout. Hawaii had a 43% turnout. These three states are known to be leaning states, and Florida had a 65.7%, Colorado had a 72.1% turnout, and Maine had a 72.8% turnout. Those three states are known to be swing states, and as you can see, the percentage of turnout was much higher than those for a leaning state. Now, for my third claim, the Electoral College distorts presidential campaigns. By this I mean that presidents tend to make promises that will mostly help win the vote for swing states. So they don't really take into account other leaning states and the policies that they need. For example, Donald Trump promised to give government funding to NASA, which is something that heavily favors Florida. And presidential candidates tend to visit swing states and are more likely than leaning states. For example, for Hawaii is a Democratic state and only has 4 electoral votes. So the presidents tend not, or for example, Donald Trump wouldn't really visit Hawaii because he knows that Hawaii is going to vote Democrat. In conclusion, the Electoral College should be eliminated or changed in a way that will make it known that the vote of the people counts towards choosing the next president. A more democratic system will lead to a better voter participation because people will not be able to say that their vote doesn't count, as many people say during the presidential elections. Eliminating the Electoral College will also eliminate swing states and leaning states, which degrade the value of votes. Thank you.
Well, wait a second. All right, the proposition's identified pretty clearly. The focus is going to be on voter participation, and I think it's the second point in your argument that does the best job talking about that. The third point seems to suggest that there's an issue concerning where people campaign, but there's not any tie-in to where they campaign to what the voter turnout's going to be, and I think that you need to make that argument on that particular point. The first point is really about whether or not it's democratic, and it's got very little to do with the turnout issue. It's, that first point doesn't really feel like it supports the main proposition. There's a good preview at the beginning of the speech, so I know what the supporting points are going to be. You label the secondary points as you get to them. That's okay. There's data on the individual points. There's some examples. There's some statistical data, especially on the second part where you've got comparisons on the turnouts in the various states. I thought that was the most effective part of your argument. There is no source citation on any of the data that's being presented. There's no testimony offered on any of these points. There's some good factual data, and I don't doubt that what you're saying is accurate, but it needs to be cited more completely in the presentation. All right, thank you.